Hi, feeling confused or a little overwhelmed while considering your care options? Stick with us for the next few minutes while we discuss various options and how to choose the best one for you or your loved one. Welcome to Home Care Insights with Ray of Sunshine. I'm Cindy Ferris and I'm going to be your host today. So when you're first looking for options, at least if you're like me, you're going to go to the internet, you're going to start searching. All types of options are going to come up. There's not going to be prices. There's not going to be a lot of descriptions. So I'm going to just briefly break down the two broad categories of care, which is in-home or in a residential setting, and then tell you about a couple of options under each of those and help you with a couple of thoughts or tests to see which one might be best for you. So your first option is going to be in-home care. That's what most people think of. You stay in the comfort of your own home. Many times it's the home you or your loved one has lived in for many years. And there is both a medical and a non-medical option for that. The medical options you may have heard of are both home health and hospice. So under a medical option, they will actually get a doctor's orders for that. The good thing about this is that it's frequently covered under Medicare, so it is a lower cost. However, you are not going to have as many opportunities to really direct care based upon the diagnosis, the specific doctor's orders. You will have a set amount of services and a set amount of time. There is no flexibility in that. With what you may hear of as private duty or home care, it is a non-medical service. So you have options. You can set schedules as you like. It can include things that aren't just medically related, like meals, those types of things. But the key thing is that it is not covered by Medicare, currently at least. Some long-term care policies cover it. And of course, private pay or some veterans benefits may be available for that. So before we dive deeper into which of these options might be better for you, let's talk about some options outside of the home, because sometimes it is just appropriate to either the senior or your loved one wants to get rid of their home. Like with my father-in-law, he was kind of done with taking care of the home. He wanted to move in someplace. So the options that you have are a skilled nursing facility, or the ones you see more frequently on TV, assisted living, kind of, if you recall the old Place for Mom commercials, those types of things. Now, skilled nursing is going to be a very heavy medical option. It can be good if you need complex care. It can be a little less inviting. A lot of the times you may have shared rooms. They have both long-term skilled nursing stays, which is more residential, and then they have short-term, which you may be familiar with from rehab, you know, those 3 to 6 week stays while you're recovering. Now, like I say, great option if you need complex care. If you don't need the complex care though, assisted living or memory care is generally a little more comfortable. You can get private rooms easier. There are a lot of activities. It is more of an apartment style living. There's frequently outings. You can have pet in many places. You generally have all meals covered. So also one consideration if you are looking into a residential facility is if there are any indicators of a memory care issue or maybe even a family history of memory care issues. You can find some facilities that have both an assisted living and a memory care facility. So it's very similar, but it will have different staff, specialized staff for memory care. It generally has a little closer monitoring. But if you select one of those facilities at the start, it can make moves and transitions a lot easier as you progress. So I guess the question everybody wants to know, you've heard about options, is how do you determine what's best for you? My family has actually dealt with this. And surprisingly, I specialize, well, maybe not surprisingly, but I work in in-home care, but a family member actually decided on residential care. For him, it just made sense. The first thing, he was very social. So he wanted that interaction. Within like 3 days of being in the facility, he had a group of very similar friends. They went to meals together, they did activities together. So that just worked for him. My mom, on the other side, or on the other hand, is very independent. She does not want somebody telling her when she needs to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So she does not want to go into residential care. She's made that clear. She now has a home that she actually has set up with a spare room in the case she does need a caregiver in the future. So while there is no one answer, everybody is unique. If you have an opportunity, if you're concerned about a loved one, bring it up, talk about it. If you see a commercial on TV, use that as an opportunity to broach the subject, find out, how would you feel about living in a facility versus do you want to stay at home? Do they express any signs of loneliness or anything like that that might make you think perhaps you should guide them towards a facility. If you do think about a facility, though, visit them several times and visit them at different times to see how active they are. Most will bring you in like during midday when they're pretty active for a meal, but go at night, go on a weekend also before you make that final decision. So you may still have questions after all of that. I've been there. I've had those questions. Feel free to give us a call at any time. Really, it's about any of these options. We'd be more than happy to discuss options, facilities, help you out with some questions you might want to ask as you go through this journey. If we're the right choice for you, great. If not, we will help you find the right one. To learn more about getting in touch with us, go to rosdfw.com. Thanks for stopping by.